Hello and welcome to our video on exploring the differences that are frequently examined in biology section of combined science. In combined science, we learn fascinating world of biology, but did you know that understanding the differences between various concepts is very important? In this video, I will be delving into key differences that are frequently examined in combined science. We are going to explore differences between animal and plant cells, aerobic and anaerobic respiration, veins and arteries, insect pollinated and wind pollinated flowers, the xylem and phloem, biotic and abiotic components of ecosystem, and many others. By understanding these differences, you gain a deeper insight into underlying principles of combined science and be better equipped to tackle exam questions with confidence. So let us dive in and start exploring the fascinating world of differences in combined science under biology section. So the first topic in biology section is on cells and ecology. Usually in combined science paper 1, the first question is going to be on cells and ecology. You should be able to distinguish physical and biological components of an ecosystem. So the physical components are also known as abiotic and biological components are known as biotic. So the differences between physical components of ecosystem and biological is that biotic have living organisms, for example, plants, animals, fungi, and bacteria. And then the physical, it have non-living, for example, water, sunlight, soil, air, and temperature. There is a typical ZMC question that required this knowledge. It was on November 2020, number 1. It was saying which one is biological component of an ecosystem. So we are going to select humus as the answer because it is obtained from the decay of once living materials. So the others are physical components of ecosystem. Another question, it was from June 2020, number 1. It is saying which one is a physical component of an ecosystem. So the correct answer is A, which is saying A. The other components are biological components of ecosystem. I hope you are now ready to tackle in questions on differences between biological and physical components of ecosystem. And also under the topic of cells and ecosystem, you need to know the differences between animal and plant cells. The animal cells, they doesn't have cell wall, while the plant cells, they have cell walls. Animal cells doesn't have chloroplast, but plant cells, they have chloroplast. Animal cells store carbohydrates in form of glycogen, while plant, they are going to store carbohydrates in form of starch. In animal cells, the vacuoles are main and small, but in plant cell, we have one large central vacuole, which is fluid filled. Animal cells are smaller, while plant cells are larger. Animal cells cannot synthesize the nutrients, but plant cells synthesize nutrients. Animal cells doesn't have plasmodesmata. Plant cells have plasmodesmata. Under cells, you need to know the differences between sperm cells and egg cells. This was examined in June 2024 on number 9B, part 2. Let us look at the question. It was saying, state any 4 differences between an egg cell and a sperm cell. So the egg cell is a female gamete, while sperm is a male gamete. The egg cell is non-motile, while sperm is motile, as it have the flagella. egg cell is produced in the ovary, whilst the sperm cell is produced in the testes. So for ovum, mitochondria is scattered in cytoplasm, and then for sperms, the mitochondria is centrally located. So the egg cell, they have X chromosomes, whilst the sperm cell have X or Y chromosomes. Central is absent in egg cell, whilst it is present in sperm cell. Only one ovum is going to mature at a time, but for sperms, they are going to be released in billions per ejaculation. So you also need to know the differences between food chain and food webs under this topic. So food chain is linear sequence of organism. Food web is complex network of interconnected food chains. Food chain follow a single path, whilst the food web shows multiple feeding relationship. Food chain is less flexible. Disruption can have a large impact, whilst for food web it is more flexible. Alternative food sources exist. So the next topic after the one of cells and ecosystem is the plant nutrition. You need to know the differences between photosynthesis and respiration. There was a question in November 2023, Combined Science Paper 2. It was on number 7B, part 3. It was reading, give 3 differences between respiration and photosynthesis. So this is how we are going to give the differences. Photosynthesis produces glucose, whilst respiration produces energy in form of ATP. Photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplast, whilst respiration occurs in the mitochondria. Photosynthesis use carbon dioxide, water, and light. Respiration use glucose and oxygen. So the products of photosynthesis are glucose and oxygen, whilst respiration produces carbon dioxide, water, and energy. The equations for photosynthesis and respiration are also different. For photosynthesis, the reactants are going to be carbon dioxide and water, and then the products are going to be glucose and oxygen. And then for respiration, this is going to be opposite. We are going to say glucose plus oxygen in order to give us carbon dioxide, water, and energy. So that is what you need to know on plant nutrition. And then the next topic after plant nutrition is human nutrition. Under this topic, you should know the differences between chemical and mechanical digestion. We are going to extract a question from Combined Science Paper 2 that was written in November 2022. The question was requiring this knowledge. It was on number 8A, part 1. It was saying, explain the differences between mechanical and chemical digestion. So mechanical digestion is the process of breaking food down by physical method, for example, using the teeth and tongue, whilst chemical digestion is the breakdown of food by the use of enzyme. So the mechanical digestion starts in the mouth by teeth and tongue, whilst chemical digestion begin when food is mixed with saliva in the mouth. The parts that are involved in mechanical digestion, we have teeth, tongue, and muscles. And then chemical include enzymes, bile, juice, and acids. And then the function of mechanical digestion is of grinding and chewing, whilst the function of chemical is hydrolysis by the enzyme. Mechanical digestion facilitates chemical digestion, whilst chemical digestion is going to facilitate the absorption of nutrients. So that is the differences you need to understand when it comes to human nutrition. The next topic after human nutrition is respiration. Under respiration, you should know the differences between aerobic and anaerobic respiration, the differences between respiration and photosynthesis, the differences between inhaled and exhaled air. So previously, we discussed the differences between respiration and photosynthesis. That was in November 2023, paper 2. We're not going to repeat this question again. So we now want to focus on the differences between inhaled and exhaled air. This is a frequently examined in combined science, paper 2. In November 2023, it was on number 7A, part 1. It was saying, state any 3 differences between inhaled and exhaled air. We are also having the same question in specimen 2018, number 9A, part 2. It was also saying, state 3 differences between inhaled and exhaled air. It was also in number 1 on November 2019, saying, give the differences between inhaled and exhaled air. So here you are expected to specify the compositions of air. For example, you're going to say inhaled air has 21% oxygen, whilst exhaled air has 16% oxygen. Inhaled air, it is going to have 0.04% carbon dioxide, whilst exhaled air, it is going to have 4% carbon dioxide concentration. And then when it comes to inhaled air, the water vapor is going to be lower compared to exhaled air. It is going to be having higher concentration of water vapor. Also, you should know the differences between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic is the process of breakdown of food in the presence of oxygen, and then anaerobic is also the process of breakdown of food, but this one is going to occur in the absence of oxygen. So the aerobic respiration end products, we are going to have carbon dioxide and water, but for anaerobic respiration, we have products such as lactic acid, alcohol, and carbon dioxide. Aerobic respiration takes time to release energy, whilst in anaerobic, energy is released quickly. Aerobic respiration is going to produce large amount of energy, whilst anaerobic produces less energy. Aerobic respiration, it occurs in the mitochondria, whilst anaerobic respiration occurs in the cytoplasm. You should also know the differences between respiration and gaseous exchange. When we are saying respiration, this is a biochemical process, whilst gaseous exchange is a physical process. Respiration takes place in the cell, whilst gaseous exchange occurs outside the cell. Respiration takes place in 2 stages, that is glycolysis and Krebs cycle, whilst gaseous exchange takes place in inspiration and expiration. Energy released in respiration, whilst energy is not released in gaseous exchange. Gaseous exchange takes place through the cells, and then the gaseous exchange is going to occur through the respiratory organ. So let me correct. I was supposed to say respiration takes place through the cell, whilst gaseous exchange occurs through the respiratory organ. So the next topic is transport in plants. You are expected to know the differences between xylem and phloem. So first difference, we are going to look at the what is used in order to have the xylem and in order to have phloem. So the xylem, they are made of dead cells, while the phloem are made of living cells. We are going to look at the cell wall thickness. The xylem is thick, while the phloem is thin. We need also to look at the cell wall material. The cell wall material for xylem is lignin, which is rigid, and that one for phloem is cellulose. Xylem, it is having impermeable cell wall, while the phloem, it is going to be having permeable cell wall. And then we are going to transport water and minerals in the xylem cells, while the phloem is going to transport food. When it comes to xylem, water and minerals are carried to the leaves, and then when it comes to phloem, food is going to be carried to growing parts and storage organs, which are also known as sink. And then the direction of flow, xylem, it is going to having minerals and water flowing upwards from the roots to the leaves, but for phloem, it is both up and down. And then the tissues, they are going to have fibers for xylem cells, and then for phloem, they are going to be made of companion cells. So the next topic is transport in humans. You need to know the differences between veins and arteries. This was in November 2023, Combined Science Paper 2. It was on number 9A, part 2. It was saying, state into differences between the blood concentration in aorta and blood in vena cava. In June 2019, question on the differences between arteries and veins was in number 8A, part 2. It was saying, outline any 3 structural differences between arteries and veins. So the differences are here. Arteries, they carry oxygenated blood from the heart, while the veins carry deoxygenated blood to the heart. Arteries, they have thicker walls, while the veins have thinner walls. In arteries, we don't have the valves, but in veins, the valves are present. Arteries have high elastin content, while the veins doesn't have elastin content. The carbon dioxide level are low in arteries, while the carbon dioxide level in blood is higher for the veins. The blood is going to flow through arteries in bright red color, and for veins it is going to be dark red in color. In arteries we have small lumens, while in veins we have large lumen. So the question on June 2019, it was requiring candidates to specify structural difference, for example, thickness of wall, size of lumen, and presence of elastin content. Then November 2023, it required specification in blood composition. So you talk about blood in aorta having oxygenated blood, while in vena cava we are going to have deoxygenated blood. Aorta is rich in oxygen, while vena cava is rich in carbon dioxide. Also, blood is going to circulate at higher pressure in aorta and less pressure in vena cava. So the next topic after transport in humans, it is reproduction. On reproduction, you should know the differences between egg and sperm cells, of which we covered it before. You should also know the differences between asexual and sexual reproduction. It was examined in June 2019, number 2A. It was saying, give 2 differences between sexual and asexual reproduction. So these are the differences. Sexual reproduction involves the fusion of male and female gametes, and then asexual reproduction, it doesn't involve the fusion of male and female gametes. And then the second difference is that sexual reproduction, it requires two different individuals, whilst asexual reproduction requires one individual. And then the individual that are going to be produced are not identical to their parents, whilst the individual produced in asexual reproduction, they are going to be identical. Another difference is that sexual reproduction occurs mostly in animals, but when it comes to plants, some of the plants produce via asexual reproduction, and some of the plants produce via sexual reproduction. And then when it comes to asexual reproduction, it is common in some other plants, algae and fungi. And then sexual reproduction is a slow process, whilst asexual reproduction is a fast process. We are also expected to know the differences between wind and insect pollinated flower. It was in June 2019 on number 1A. It was reading state into differences between the structure of an insect pollinated flower and wind pollinated flower. So the insect pollinated flowers, they are generally large, whilst wind pollinated flowers, they are small. In insect pollinated flowers, the petals are brightly colored and contain the nectar, whilst for wind pollinated, they are dull colored and do not contain the nectar. Insect pollinated flowers, they have short filament with small anther, whilst wind pollinated flowers, they have long filament with big anther. For insect pollinated flower, the stigma is thick and flat shape, whilst for wind pollinated, the stigma is long, hairy and feathery. In insect pollinated flower, we are going to have small amount of pollen grains, whilst in wind pollinated flowers, we are going to have a lot of light and small pollen grains. And then the last topic in the biology section of combined science is health and diseases. You need to know the differences between passive and active immunity. It was on June 2019, number 2B, part 1, saying distinguish between passive and active immunity. So when it comes to passive immunity, the antibodies are obtained from outside source, but active immunity, natural is given to infection, whilst artificial, the antibodies are given through immunization. And then for passive, it is immediate, whilst for active immunity, time is needed for immune response to occur. For passive, there is no contact that is done with pathogen, but for active immunity, there is supposed to be contact with the pathogen. In passive, antibodies are not going to be replaced, but in active immunity, antibodies are replaced by memory cells. And then passive immunity, it doesn't offer long-lasting immunity, whilst active immunity offers long-lasting immunity. So you should also know the differences between diseases. For example, in November 2023, number 2A, there was a question which was reading, describe how HIV differs from genital herpes. So HIV is caused by HIV, whilst genital herpes is caused by herpes simplex virus. HIV attacks the immune system, whilst genital herpes, it is going to cause the blister sores or sores around the genital. HIV is transmitted via body fluids, whilst genital herpes is transmitted via the skin. You should also know how to give the different symptoms between diseases. For example, in November 2019, number 7, there was a question which was saying, state a symptoms of Ebola which is different from symptoms of malaria. So this was a beautiful revision of frequently examined question on differences between different factors under biology section of combined science. I will create another video for the differences that are examined under chemistry section, and also the differences that are examined under physics section. Thank you so much, guys, for following me on this channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my videos. I love you all. This is Eve signing out.